them in person.
Okay, friends, so I'm going to turn off the radio. Brooke and Jubal, I'm sorry, I would listen to your show, but
young women there, so I decided that I wanted...
This is my final drive with my 2015 Ford Explorer. I've leased it for just under 3 years now. My lease would have been up in about 2 months now. You know, it's sad to see it go. I'm really going to miss it. But at the same time, I don't want to lease anymore, and I want to make sure that the new car I'm getting has the miles per gallon that I want and all that. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what car that I'm getting right now, but I've put 30,443 miles on this. By the time I'm done with this video, by the time I get it there, it'll probably be closer to 455 or so. But anyways, things that I have absolutely adored and loved about this car. One of the biggest things that kind of upsets passengers that aren't kids, and that's pretty much all of my passengers, is in order for you to get out of the car, I have to get out of the car. Totally get that. Wonderful child safety feature. As soon as I unlatch this door, and I can't just like barely touch it, I have to like actually pull it, and it unlatches the back doors and everything. So that's one of those things that I really love about this. And just for future reference, I really want to get a suction cup mount for the window, so I don't have to hold this. I can literally just talk to you guys as I'm driving along, and you guys can see what I'm seeing without all this crap going on. Another reason why I'm getting rid of my lease is because I want to become an Uber driver. That might be part of the channel that is part of my winter vlogs. Ubering around and all that and having fun with it. I really am looking forward to doing something like that. I think it would be a ton of fun. I think those vlogs would be absolutely amazing and crazy and just fun to watch and fun to live out. Life of an Uber driver would be super fun. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you what car I'm getting. I'm kind of just going over the final drive of the Ford for me. In the 3 years that I've had this, I've had no major issues. You know, in all honesty, it's been a ton of fun having this car, and I honestly wish that I could have went with it again. But again, I don't want to lease, and the only reason that I did lease this is because I wanted the lower payment plan. And that kind of came back to bite me in the butt. It was stupid of me to do that. I don't know if I made the right decision looking back on it. I don't have any regrets because I do love this car, and it did help me when I needed to move in with my wife and all that, and it helped me out there. But just having a ton of space doesn't really help you out too much in the long run. If I look back at this car, and so throughout this lease in 3 years, I've used 1,600 gallons of fuel. I've kept this going this whole time to see how long it would, how much I would use and all that. Obviously, that says 246.2 miles, but that's because it resets every, I want to say 10,000 or 15,000 miles. So that's why it's at that. I have not driven it the full 30,400, whatever. It did have about 400 miles on it when I got it, so I'm right at that 30,000 mile mark for what I've had. Over the lifespan of this car, facing Rochester winters, facing Rochester summers, all that, the average fuel consumption is a little bit lower than the mixed 19 miles per gallon that they say you'll get out of it. Let's see. Back when I first got it, I was doing not too much city driving, but a good amount. I was going downtown a lot, hanging out down there. So, I mean, there's a lot of city driving then. But I don't really want to call that a lot of city driving, you know? I don't want to say like, oh yeah, I did a ton of city driving and that's why that's so low. No, it's because in the winter, the fuel mileage, the miles per gallon that you can get out of a car drops a little bit. It's a little bit harder to get more miles out of a gallon than it is in the summer. I'm no expert in why that is, and I'm not going to try to get into it, so there's that. But anyways, another thing, this says that I've driven this car for 16 hours, 49 minutes. I feel like it's been a lot longer than that. I wonder how often that resets. Probably every 100 days. I don't know. It would be interesting to see. Another thing that I really love about this car is the radio. I love that it has the auxiliary. I love that it has the Bluetooth. I love that it has the iPod hookup. All of that is amazing. It's definitely a ton of fun to do and use. Also, the lights, the sounds, everything to use on a daily basis, the windows, all that fun stuff is very easily accessible. Being able to dial a phone number from your dash, your passenger can do it, you can do it, not while you're driving, of course. And the sync Bluetooth is wonderful. That's one of the things that I'm going to miss about not having a Ford is having Ford Sync. Obviously, Jeep has a Bluetooth capability, but you know, it's kind of a moot point. It's not Ford Sync. I don't know if Ford Sync is honestly the best out there. It's the only Bluetooth that I've ever had in a car that's came with my car. Ooh, now we'll do a little bit of red light rev. So, on this time with red light rev, the only things that I found that are like falling apart on this after 30,000 miles are these little pieces will lose their kind of adhesive. However they stick in, I think it's like a clip. But other than that, I mean, those little plasticky things are going to break off anyways at some point. So I just don't like that they broke off after 30,000 miles. Any issues I've ever had with the car, there was one time where the brakes were not wearing properly, so they needed to be replaced. That was a factory defect. It was not a major thing. It was covered by the warranty that I had, and Ford was going to replace it anyways, even if I didn't have that warranty, because it's part of their factory warranty stuff. So this was the final drive with the 2015 Ford Explorer. Again, I've had it for almost 3 years now. I've loved it every step of the way. But I mean, there's not really too much I can say. The one thing I do want to quickly mention before I go, if you're ever at a drive-in and you want to lift the tailgate open and lay down in the back seat, great. There's one thing you need to know. Flip that latch that locks the car and makes the car think that the hatch is closed, and the lights will turn off shortly after. If you don't do that, the lights will stay on, and you don't want that to happen. When you're trying to watch a movie and all that, especially at a drive-in, you don't want more lights than what you need. So get those lights turned off. That's the simple way to do it. It will take a little bit of finagling, but it won't break it. It won't do anything bad to it. So you're good. This is Rev again with the final Ford Explorer final drive.